lot of stuff we're talking about, and then some of the change that we have in store. But yeah, obviously, maybe they can bug you now to find out what it is.
Oh no, I've unleashed the beast.
I just showed you the secret blueprint. So actually,
yeah.
The tease is Diggity knows everything. So,
it's true, I do know everything. I know everything about everything.
Right.
So, and nobody knows it. Anyway.
Actually, it was your ideas.
Yeah, that's true. So sign the bottom. It's actually true.
Napkin, yeah, it was
I am the reason for all of the esports 2 stuff that happened.
Right, well, it's how to ruin esports. That's
yeah, exactly. I am on the council of ruining esports.
Right. No. Yeah. So, I appreciate the nomination.
Yeah.
That was great.
All right. So. Anyway, thanks for the interview, Russ. Is there anything else you want to throw out there?
No.
Shout outs.
The fans. It's all growing. It's all excited. We're all.
By the way, congratulations on the vast improvement of production quality.
Well, we're getting there, and we've got more in the pipe for people to see. So
yeah,
we're excited about it.
So I used to run Root Gaming. We got picked up by Complexity, where most of us went across. I became business development manager at Complexity. So I don't handle as much as a player, day-to-day duties, but I handle a lot of the high levels things with sponsors, sponsor relations, also a lot of our player pickups and logistics for tournaments coming up.
What's the biggest difference going from what I would consider literally grassroots Root Gaming to what's I hate to say more corporate, but basically more of an established organization like Complexity?
I think if you ask almost all of the players, even the ones that are on Reign or Destiny who's with Quantic now, I think they're going to say that it's a relief, because I think at Root, I always felt like my players were too good to have to worry about travel logistics, have to worry about how am I going to get to this tournament or who's paying for the hotel, and now that's taken care of on the corporate the corporate side, the organization side. It's been a lot better for them. I think you've seen in some of their results, and even though some of them are still struggling, I think it's good overall just to see kind of esports be legitimized, right? No longer have, can I get a ride? Can I bum a ride here? But it's like, here's your plane ticket. Show up here and then, and we'll take care of the rest. So.
Are you allowed to talk about any of the players you're pursuing or talking to right now, or is that completely off limits?
So honestly, right now, I think we're looking at kind of talent that we've seen do really well in tournaments like the Stefanos and stuff like that. Obviously, the whole debacle there, and he's with Millennium again. But I think right now we're looking to pick up top upper echelon talents like Naniwa. And I don't think there's any real big free agents right now.
Okay.
But yeah, we're definitely always looking. I think.
What do you look for when you're looking for a player? Is there something in particular that you think this is the type of guy we want for our team?
So that's a good question, because it blends in with the whole corporate thing, right? So now that we're almost a legitimate organization, you have sponsor obligations, so you can't say certain things on your stream, you can't support certain logos. So there's a level of, I guess, behavior that we look for, first of all, professionalism, and that's to be honest, right? That's the first thing we need. A player that's marketable, someone that maybe has a good following, someone that streams a lot, like a Cats, or like a Drewby or Minigun, someone who streams a lot, has a following there that we can kind of advertise on, or reach out to fans with, someone who understands the social media aspect, and that's kind of bonuses, and obviously someone who's performed, right? Someone who has done it on LAN, someone who performs on the main stage, someone who plays well under pressure, practices hard, like an Naniwa. So.
Did you run into any problems with Destiny under that same topic? Because I know he's been kind of off the cuff with his streaming.
Right. So you remember that whole kind of thing that happened when Destiny first joined. He signed the contract because he felt that if he didn't, Root wouldn't have gotten picked up, which is I think a good friend thing to do. But in hindsight, he definitely should have reanalyzed before he signed. I think one of the reasons why Complexity was a little iffy about picking him up was because some of the language doesn't stream. And I know the Reddit fans love Destiny. I read Reddit
4chan, yeah.
They love Destiny, and I understand where they're coming from, saying things he says he doesn't mean in that context, but still from a sponsor point of view, you can't make that argument to your customers, and that's kind of the rub there with kind of new school, old school StarCraft and stuff like that.
All right, so I'm a longtime shoutcaster. Started back with Warcraft 3, Frozen Throne. Did a lot of World Cyber Game stuff. Just everything on YouTube. Could never really make out the trips to Singapore or all the other locations for the finals, but a lot of fun. I transitioned into StarCraft 2 during the beta, and then have been casting StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3 pretty religiously. If you guys have been following my channel, I have 2,600 videos now, somewhere in that realm. It's disgustingly long, but apparently I people during their lunch breaks are like, I need fresh StarCraft 2 content every day, and while they're at work, I'm like, hey, Crota always has stuff to watch, so I fill that void.
So I see this awesome swag here on the ground. Why don't you show off your goods?
This is a limited edition set of 3,000 Mega Blocks for the Battle Cruiser. But more importantly, on the other side, I was able to get Samwise, some of the Sons of Thunder. I got Chris to sign it. I'm trying to find Dustin Browder and David Kim again, and they're in there apparently. But it's going to be very difficult to try to schedule an interview to just have them sign a box.
Last thing, I guess, then, how you feeling about BlizzCon aside from all the sweaty geeks? Favorite thing so far?
Favorite thing so far, the panel with David Kim and Chris yesterday. He went over a lot of the Heart of the Swarm units, a lot of the theory behind them, what they were trying to go for, and apparently they've already been testing this for over 3 months. So what we see now is going to be pretty close. Right now, they can still cut units, but I think they feel very comfortable. Everything sounds overpowered, and David Kim even said overpowered is good because it gets people to play the units, and then if they need to scale it down a little bit. I know the shredder. I want to try to execute some shredder drops where a shredder can take down an entire mineral line in 10 seconds flat, and that will be pretty interesting.
Last night at the GSL, I was like, I want to be commentating right now. Damn you, Taste Toasters, because I want to be up there.
There's love, but there's envy too sometimes. Yeah. I love those guys to death. I would hug them and whatever. I'll buy them drinks any day of the night. But sometimes you're on stage and you're like, oh god, that's such a huge crowd. This is so awesome.
It's just there's so much energy behind the scene, and it's I think it's a phenomenal thing. It's something that there's certainly other great communities, but the esports community is bar none one of the strongest and most invigorating, especially when you're in the midst of it. But yeah, the StarCraft 2 commentating is a blast. I encourage anyone who's interested in it to just go out and do it. I just started doing it last summer, and now it's what I do full time, amongst other things.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty cool scene for sure.
Shindig's recording me. Hey, this is an interview of GhostClaw. He is with Team Liquid and works with Liquipedia mostly. I'm not sure these days because you're now a full-time working guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the full-time working guy, but with not drag racing stuff, an awesome engineer. What's your alma mater? I keep forgetting.
UC Irvine.
Okay, I knew it was there. I wanted to say UC Riverside, and I didn't want to make that horrible mistake because UC Irvine's so much better. Now I'm gonna get in trouble. But anyway, I got to do the rundown of the crew. So still on Team Liquid staff, still an awesome guy. One of the guys mainly responsible for, and this is like a prison, by the way, because we're right next to the women's bathroom. It's the only place I can get lighting, and we have people going out, and I've got the nice
over there.
and we've got the nice overhead lighting that makes his skin look so beautiful. Just a great guy. But do you have any comments about being at BlizzCon, or?
It's great to be back here. This is my 3rd or 4th year running, and it's still been so many I can't even remember. And you know what? Honestly, it's great to be back. I mean, I heard that they even brought back some Brood War programmers for some exhibition matches, and I'm super excited. I think that's the thing that I'm most excited about this time around.
You know, it's funny. It almost feels like coming back to family that you see around once every great while a year. And I know you're one of those guys. For me, Shindigs is another one. I'm probably going to grab him around, but it's great seeing everybody.
There's one team-related thing and one personal business project of mine in the works.
Nice.
But other than, I guess I can tell you about, I think I should be talking to Twitch soon and running the second individual CSL tournament. So we did one last year.
CSL.
That was an individual one alongside the team one. So that's going to be 2 players from each college probably, and a gigantic, long style tournament. So that should be coming up soon. So that's in the works.
If you guys are in college and not on a CSL team, odds are there's a CSL team that exists at your college. If it doesn't already, get it started. That's what I've been saying for a long time now.
Yeah. And start a Barcraft at your college.
Start a Barcraft at your college too.
That's where it's at.
Those two are, Anything else, or?
Just the secret hidden projects. One's related to teams, one's related to personal business project.
All right.
I can't talk about those yet.
And we'll say rope is the hidden thing to tie it all together.
Something about narwhals.
Narwhals or whatever. Perfect.
Yeah.
The conspiracy threads are going to be great on this. Awesome. Cool. Thanks for everybody follow him on Twitter. Are you on Facebook at all?
Twitter.com/Thundertoss, Facebook.com/Thundertoss, Thundertoss.com, all those things. You can find me anywhere in Thundertoss.
Just hunt him down. This is Mona, who's awesome. She does all of the CSL. Well, one of the founding people in CSL, and super awesome. She's got an awesome picture drawn. Look at this thing. She actually had me sign the back, and I felt guilty because I felt like I was ruining it. How freaking you have the awesome Colossi there and the huge Marines that don't stand a freaking chance here. He was obviously a Protoss player because look at that, they're so dead. And even have the warp prism warping things in. But yeah, she's one of the awesome people with CSL. If you, again, I've said this on another interview, but if you're not already part of CSL and you're in college, odds are CSL exists at your college and you should get involved. And if it doesn't, you should talk to this person right here about getting involved.
So we have 250 schools this season, and that's 10 times the amount that we had 3 years ago. So we've really grown. We have 3 offline qualifiers that are coming up. They're live, they're going to be casted. We're taking over lecture halls and ballrooms so that we can play StarCraft 2 there.
Okay.
It's going to be open to everyone. 30 colleges can come in. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Nice. Is there anything else you want to give a shout out to?
Team Liquid, CSL, I love you all. Protoss is underpowered.
Still?
Yeah.
After the patch?
Please fuck Protoss.
Isn't that completely not true? Because MC and Huck did so well there.
Well.
Does that? Not good enough.
I don't know. That was one tournament.
One tournament.
I think it's a fluke.
Anyway, she's awesome. She's one of the people I'll vouch for. There's not a lot of people I would vouch for in the esports world, but this is a voucher right here, a voucher. So check out CSL, get involved if you're not already involved. She's making esports happen. She's another hero back there. Thanks. You were part of the original Barcraft groupings back when we were doing it at Quesadilla, OSL, MSL finals.
Yeah.
Back when it was like 5 or 6 guys into an apartment.
Back when it was awesome.
That was back when it was awesome and didn't sell out and wasn't like all corporate.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, I don't even know how to start this interview. I just want to say you're awesome. That's what it comes down to.
Thanks, man.
And like reminisce. This is gonna just be the Diggity and Quesadilla commiserating.
You know what? It's cool. I feel good.
And I just can't believe how things have taken off in that regard.
No kidding. It's weird because the only time we get to run into each other at this point is like events that are so big and so beyond what we ever did with 12 people in a living room, drinking pumpkin beer, playing
pumpkin beer.
Brood War on laptops.
Yeah.
So
we actually used to have the Brood War on laptops sessions, and we had random Korean Luke.
Yeah. And then we'd get smoked. But
then we get smoked. Yeah, he had some amazing cheese.
It is cool though. I mean, StarCraft 2 is massive, and it's cool to be a part of this as well. I mean, I guess being a part of it isn't as exclusive or random. It seems like more of a mainstream event, but it still has the feeling of being something new. You know, they're still releasing. We're essentially at the cusp of the new Brood War.
Yeah, basically.
And it's cool to be a part of it, and the same faces are still showing up. So you know it's a good game. You know it's a good community, and the fact that I get interviewed for no other reason that we're friends is awesome.
Thanks for the interview, Quesadilla. Everybody keep an eye out for him, particularly in those LA bar crafts. And he's just an awesome guy in general. So you guys, if you see him in public, go harass him and have a conversation. Because this dude's seriously underground. How can you not get more underground than CG Antis t-shirt and the Sean Plott badge from 2008? That's just killer.
I love Reddit.
He loves Reddit.
I love Reddit, really. I do. It's really fun to, you know, to have something where you can really skim through something really cool and find something really cool and fun and
also while I'm thinking about it, the last thing that with the last IEM and the mix of the players, you handled that so much better than I've seen other people handle equivalent screw-ups. So
I mean, it's you shouldn't give
I shouldn't point it out here, but
you should give me shit for that instead of giving me props.
Oh, you're right. I'm supposed to be representing Reddit.
I mean, at the end of the day, we made a mistake.
Was it a conspiracy to make sure that I can't even remember who was involved anymore.
No,
to make sure that Goody couldn't get into the finals he deserved.
The thing is, we have 2 different ways of seeding players in the group, on first spot and on second spot. One school is to go by map score, and the other school is to go by direct result. And actually, our referees do so many events that they made a mistake and thought it was supposed to be something else.
Gotcha.
But it was in the rule book that the players got on paper, and that, you know, it proved that the referee made a mistake, and it's dreadful. It's nothing to congratulate on.
Okay.
It shouldn't happen in the first place. So, coming back to the question, I really love Reddit. It took me a while to get into it, but it's a really, really fun tool, and it delivers. It fills a gap which, let's say, Team Liquid, which is a great resource in general, and if I want to really comment or live stream, I go there. But it fills a gap of this immediate, cool stuff happening. You know, content service.
Front page of the internet, yeah. So do you have any big plans coming up? The next tournament, any big venue, anything you want to promote as it's going out? Or anything you can talk about, so you can give like the super secret, like, yes, we have things, but we can't talk about them, like what's the standard, kind of the standard response that we get. in general?
What can I say? So, I suppose, we're going to Kiev, to Ukraine. We've announced the qualification. We're going to Sao Paulo, to Brazil, and we're bringing StarCraft there. We're bringing the torch of StarCraft to all sorts of places.
Nice.
We're doing our best to make sure that every event is better than the previous one. We don't always succeed. We have, every single country delivers its own set of issues. So unfortunately, it will not always be perfect, but our World Championship will blow your socks off.
Awesome. When is what's the date on the World Championship, or has it been set yet?
Somewhere around the first week of March.
First week of March, so
Yes.
2012.
Yes, that's correct.
So everybody keep an eye out for the IAM World Championship, which is
Correct.
fantastic.
It's going to be amazing.
If you haven't seen IAM, you're probably living under a stone. But great event. Thank you for the interview, Carmac.
Thank you.
Do you have any shout outs or anything you wanted to give?
I want to give a shout out to Reddit. I'm actually going to be, the suit right now. But what you guys did with Intel, thanking our sponsors in general after our Guangzhou event in China, the Global Challenge that Indra won. Thank you for the positive energy that you guys have created, and it has a lot of meaning because to some sponsors for some leagues, the customer at the end of the day, it's a number. We had so and so many sessions. You have proven to our sponsors that you're not a number and that you have a voice, and that was really, really appreciated, so keep doing that.
With all the interviews, because one, I think you're the first interview guy who probably hasn't been 100% clueless when they've been walking into stuff. You actually seem, I don't know, is it a fake thing, or do you actually follow and you actually know?
No, I actually follow. I played StarCraft and StarCraft Brood War. I got Brood War for one of my birthdays when I was younger.
What race did you play in Brood War?
I played as Protoss, and then I switched to Terran when I knew StarCraft 2 was coming out. And they had the 3 tiers or divisions of Wings of Liberty, and then Heart of the Swarm, and then Legacy of the Void. So it's like, well, Terran's coming out first, so they may have that more.
There you go.
Powerful, or maybe not as balanced.
Inba.
Yeah. Definitely. But as far as gaming, I've grown up with it. And with MLG, I've worked for them for over a year behind the scenes. I was a cameraman first and then a production assistant, running all over the place, making sure all the streams were good to go, the players were good to go, and interacting with the players and seeing all these amazing builds and strategies and stuff like that has grown on me.
So hold on, let's make the hero story. You're the one who fixed the streams when they went bad.
I got communication back and forth so the streams could be fixed or a player could be found. So I was everywhere. I was a tool man, utility man.
You're the man making esports happen. Let's just leave it at that. You're saving esports. You're one of the men saving esports.
Well, MLG, I mean, we're a staff that works together, and everybody, when they lift where they stand, which is a nice phrase I like to use, but if they all do their job and they work together, then that's what you see these great productions, these great tournaments. Thank you so much. Thanks for the suggestions and the constructive criticism. I mean, not just me, but MLG in general. We take it seriously that we want to improve. There are improvements made, but as you can see, esports has exploded, and MLG has done phenomenally over the last season, and we look forward to more incredible StarCraft 2 action in Providence, and also in the 2012 season.
But Digiwombat caster most recently for, what is the most recent stuff you've done?
I just recorded some NASL stuff with Andre, and
I wanted to say GCPL, and I knew.
GCPL, and as of Sunday, it will have been the Alienware Arena. I've been doing all the Alienware Arena stuff, so all 7 of you guys who watched Alienware Arena, thanks.
You gotta, a small streamer pride,
There was what's funny is like DDE and Select always play in those, because they're not really small, it's like $1,000 for first place.
I've been part of a lot of random things where it's like, we're in a back alley. It's the back alley casters. That's really what the organization. These are the hardcore guys. These are the guys that really love casting.
Yeah,
seriously.
There's not going to be enough people watching.
Josh again. These are the guys that really love casting esports though, because they do it for.
We love you, Diggity.
I don't have to worry about that. I can go out in public, and I don't have to be harangued by the masses. Oh my God!
I wish I was harangued. Well, no, I don't. I'm not harangued by the masses yet. Most people don't know what I look like, so I've managed to sneak in. I managed to sneak out, but
yeah, I mean, casting's like the most fun thing ever. Though I don't understand how anybody cannot like. I'm trying to imagine some guy who casts and is like, well, this isn't going to have enough people watching. I'm just like, what? You get to watch StarCraft all day and talk about it, and people are going to listen for no reason. That's so. It's like
it's funny. That's how I feel too. It's like people are listening to me for no reason whatsoever. Why are?
And I'm completely floored by that. Like when you look at the stats, like because I did this White Raw show match that like 8,500 people watched. And then I went to MLG on the weekend and nobody knew who I was.
Yeah.
So it was like this great, really like, I was immediately brought back down to earth. I was like, yeah, some people they're gonna know the Wombat name after this.
Yeah, I'm pretty humbled regularly too.
But I was still just like, I mean, like 8,500 people listen to me talk about so it's like the coolest thing ever, and it's fun. So I don't care because it's just fun. Like I cast to 4 people. Like last time, Alienware Arena 3 didn't get listed on Team Liquid. So like,
hold on a second. Distraction interview thing. This is a cool thing to happen while this is going on. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, yeah. So we had like TDE.
This is seriously happening? You know?
I really want some RC cars.
Seriously, we got RC cars running around in the background during this best interview ever.
Yes.
Wombat, you got it.
But yeah, guys like DDE and I think Major was in it for a bit too. They were playing. And there's like 60 people watching, which always like, I'm never offended because they're not watching me. I'm always like, don't you guys know that like Major's playing and DDE's playing?
Yeah.
Like luckily some of those guys are starting to get some notice, you know, some of the smaller teams like Infinity 7 and It's Goes To are really starting to make a splash. And QXG finally is getting a notice. And I'm like really happy because that's my hipster caster stuff. I'm like, you guys know about QXG.
Yeah, you always know about that guy who's pretty good, where you can be like, yeah, Sase's pretty good, or I can say like now, I can throw out a name like Theognis, and nobody has any idea who Theognis is now, but give it some time.
Well, it's just like Loner before this, and all those guys that just don't quite make it, or they're on the Chinese scene, or the Europeans who are amazing that nobody sees. I'm always really happy when those guys finally get some credit.
I've actually been trying a lot to improve my casting. There's a lot that goes into it, and it is rather challenging, especially with everything that's just been going on. You know, there's been a lot of promotion in the scene. There's all these tournaments you have to follow. On top of that, right now I don't know if you knew, but I'm alone in terms of casting. I have a permanent casting partner. So it's been really, really tough, but overall things have been good, and I've been making good strides.
Okay. Yeah, I'm hoping, I'm willing to bet though within a year everyone's going to be like, Andre's so amazing, best caster out there, hands down. I'm calling it now. This is me calling it now. That like seriously, in not too long a time, this face, zoom in, that will be the one that everybody's talking about that's so awesome. So yeah, everyone check out NASL finals coming up. Yeah, Ontario, California once again for the finals. And he's awesome and he's very cuddly and whatnot. I'm going to give him another hug on camera. Boom. Do you have any casting stuff coming up? Because we haven't seen you. I haven't seen you cast in a while.
I'll be going to the Philippines for the PPSL, the Filipino Pro StarCraft League. I'll be there casting on November 7th and 8th, I believe. I don't know who with whom yet, but it's for the IPL 4 SCA qualifiers, pretty much.
Cool. Yeah. And I guess how's working at Twitch? Because you're full-time at Twitch.
Which is amazing. So it's esports October right now. I've literally only slept in my bed about 3 times this month. Everything else has been hectic, going to IPL, hitting up MLG, a little bit of IEM, now coming down to here after 3 days of work, you know. It's pretty ridiculous. And right after this, I go to the Philippines for about a week and a half.
Wow.
Then DreamHack and various other events going on.
So no rest for the awesome, I guess.
No rest at all. Well, it's kind of awesome as hell. But also, I wish I had more time to sit in my bed and work on my smaller projects. But
gotcha.
Yeah, it's really nice being out here, helping out, you know, various events, making sure to go smoothly on stream, and like meeting all kinds of cool people too.
So you guys have had a brief launch, kind of, on YouTube. Full launch we haven't seen yet. My question is why not? Why are you hurting the community by not launching everything now?
Well, it's actually, there's a lot of different things that go into that.
Why are you hurting esports, Jakes? He's getting nervous. We've got him.
You know, realistically, the biggest issue is we don't have enough workers. It's just me doing these builds right now. I've got someone that helps me edit the videos, and I've got someone that helps me find advertisers.
Gotcha.
But it's just me, and I am the bottleneck. I put a lot of work into every single build, and I don't want to release it if it's not absolutely perfect.
Gotcha.
And so a little bit of unrealistic goals. I thought maybe I could do 3 a week consistently. It's looking like we're going to have to reassess that. But another thing was just complications with partnership and all those other things, but that's looking to all be solved actually right now. Once we get partnered, then we can start calling in all of our advertisers to start pushing forward with all these other plans, and maybe the goal is that maybe, possibly, that we can make enough money off of our channel to hire someone else to make even more builds and just go further and further, because there's just so many builds out there every single week, every single tournament that just need to be released.
Yeah. Any advice to aspiring people who want awesome facial hair like yours? I would be remiss if I didn't mention
you just have to
the hero stash.
What you have to do is you have to just not shave anything for an entire month, and the best time to do that is this coming November.
DJWheat, congratulations first of all. Now full-time officially. You've broken through the barrier. How does it feel?
It was really liberating today, actually, leaving the office for what will hopefully be the last time. For those that don't know, I started working there actually back in like 1998.
Wow.
And I left in 2004 to pursue esports full time with GGL, Global Gaming, and then eventually CGS. And then I went back to this company after that shit failed. And so let's hope that the same fate doesn't fall onto Twitch. So,
do you feel like this has a different feel than CGS, everything that's happening now?
Of course, like all of that shit, and like I don't expect anyone to quite understand it, dude, because there's not that many people that have actually been around for, even some of those weird times, but we were so far ahead of our time. Like, Epileptic Gaming, which was a daily video game show on fucking Stickum, which is like it was a site designed for 14-year-old girls to get almost naked, get in trouble, and then anyway.
You're saying you're culpable to underage pornography on the
internet?
No,
I'm not. But it was like, to us, emerging technology, right? So we were like, holy shit! Look, there's this ability to live stream ourselves. So think about that in 2005, 2006, and then now. It's like a completely different game. So I'm very confident about where things have been going. Absolutely. I've gotten a request from a bunch of Redditors, but only if the majority says yes. I would love to do a live AMA for our StarCraft if they want it. I think that more people should do live AMAs because I think it's fucking cool. And I think people come up with some great questions. I lurk more than I post, but I love our StarCraft, you guys. The stupid shit that you guys post. Man, Destiny. Like, they don't even like me that much. But I go there as a fan, Destiny. Okay? Just because you have a subreddit, okay?
I have a subreddit because people don't want to see me on StarCraft. No, I'm just kidding.
That is where we. Yeah.
I've gotten great entertainment out of the Destiny items that have been posted on the R StarCraft tournament. Just saying. I did not particularly enjoy it when Reddit went all image free. I was that guy. I'm sorry. I was like, you know what? I kind of need some stupid shit up on this Reddit. And I would like to go one step further, and I would like to say that for as big as our StarCraft is, I think that what's going on sucks. This is what I mean. People are going to be like, wow, what the fuck? The RSS, or not the RSS, the CSS, excuse me, why doesn't it have for an upvote a Baneling and for a downvote a fucking Burrows Bane?
Someone needs to get on that.
Something cool like that. It's just not cool enough. Steve, I'm right?
Supply Depot.
Supply Depot.
Yeah.
I would even be okay with a Supply Depot. Or maybe it just changes every once in a while. I have done my best to make this as long as I possibly could because I know you wanted to keep it short. Thank you, r/StarCraft. Guys of the bomb. Peace. Fuck Slasher.
We all know Slasher. He lost the bet. He's going to have to shave his head nearby. That's actually happening tonight.
For making stupid bets.
Now my question is this just a cover that you knew was going to happen for the secret cancer you have because of all the cigarette ads and things you've done?
Yes, cancer of esports. This is what happens when I kill it.
It's like a Breaking Bad thing, I think. This is the secret, everybody. I want to see a witch hunt thread, like 400 upvotes at
There's
least.
already them. I don't have to do anything intentionally, at least, for that to happen to begin.
Cancer is killing esports.
Especially mine.
Is there anything else you wanted to note? Any shout-outs or anything like that down the line?
No shout-outs. I don't give anyone else shout-outs whenever I do interviews with them. So, nope, nothing.
Just live on 3, check it out.
Not
Everybody.
even.
Not even that?
Well, because if
Screw those guys!
Well, no, because, I mean, obviously.
Under the bus. First of all, what do you think of all this? Is this your first Blizzcon? Is this your...
Yeah, it's my first one.
So, enjoying yourself, or...
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Now, the next question that I'm sure is burning on a billion people's minds, are we ever going to see the full, like, side thing of the ode to the Baneling? Or the ode to the piano piece? I want to hear that entire thing.
If I get around to recording again, maybe. I don't know. It's a lot of time.
That was so good, man. You need to do the entire thing. I'm not even kidding.
Maybe.
And do you think piano? I actually want to poll people. Do you feel like musical instruments are directly linked to high APM?
Definitely not.
Definitely
practicing
not.
music is 100% the exact same way as practicing StarCraft. Final performances are equivalent to tournament performances. I mean, everything is the exact same in terms of the practice, but I don't think there's a correlation, you know?
God, I hope the audio picks up on this. And this is something I want to make happen. So, knowing your name, Destiny, my impression is you got that from Pokemon. Is that correct?
Hell no. What? No?
Come on.
If I was going to choose a name for Pokemon, it'd be way cooler than Destiny.
What would it be?
What would it be?
If it was Pokemon based.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. The first time I ran through that game, they give you the advice on not to level just one Pokemon and on. Fuck that, dude. I had a Charmander,
Nice.
and I fucking leveled that thing to like 50, and got all of its moves really early, and then I had Charizard like right off the bat. And I went through the whole like final four or whatever with one fucking like level 89 Charizard. It was awesome. So I would probably name myself.
I think you could pull it off. I couldn't pull it off, but I totally think you should do just a flat YouTube video where you're doing like a Team Quantic versus whatever, come out of the cave and you're like throwing out players as Pokemon, or even like
maybe that'd
little
be
infested.
sounds like a lot of production.
You could have Huck come out and you're like, Huck uses hallucination against Idris. It's super effective.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, the first question we always have to lead off from the Reddit community is standard complaints about LAN latency and connectivity issues. But I guess the more general question is, do you guys see a specific problem in major live events with connectivity issues, and do you have any alternative solutions that are coming up, such as game reconnect or multiplayer game state staves, or some alternate solution aside from LAN to taking care of kind of the tournament disconnect problem?
We have seen some issues in some of the tournaments, and we're always very distressed when we see that, and we're always looking for solutions along those lines. We'll definitely be talking about those more and more. I can't promise you anything, I'm sorry to say. Some of these things are pretty big engineering tasks for us, and some of them may even be impossible for us to do at this state. But we're always looking at that stuff. We are happy to see that the tournament guys are getting their hardware together better, they're understanding the problems better, and they're doing a better job at it. And we ultimately hope that the tournament organizers are able to tackle this for us in many ways. But we're always looking for solutions, and we'll keep doing everything we can. But I'm sorry to say I don't have a great answer for you. I can't say definitively on this day we have this fixed and it will be awesome. That'll be the right answer that you guys would want, right? That'll be the answer that would work for you. But we'll keep looking at it. We'll keep working on it, and we're watching these things with you guys. So whenever something explodes, believe me, we're grinding our teeth and screaming. Probably a little harder than you guys are when something goes wrong in StarCraft.
On that topic, what are the status of group replays? I know that would help a lot with, at least from a casting perspective, being able to sit in a group with other people watching it at the same time.
It's definitely on our list of things to do. I don't know whether it's going to make Heart of the Swarm or after Heart of the Swarm or somewhere in that area, but we're working on it as hard as we can. We know the need. It's not even just esports that wants it. Like if you just play a 2v2 with your buddy, right, and you just got your butt handed to you, you might want to know, what did we do wrong? You had a great game, you want to watch it together. So I think it's got utility all across the community, in team play, and of course, from the esports and casting community. So it's something we definitely want to do.
Okay. Do you have any plans for adding more 1v1 Blizzard maps to the pool? Like we saw Tal'Darim Malter go into the pool from kind of the community tournament status,
Right.
or do you have any other plans to move any more community or tournament maps into just the flat Blizzard pool?
Sure. So we're always looking at the community maps and trying to see the ones that will work best, for our ladder players. We don't have quite the same luxury that the GSL guys do in the sense that they're looking at only the highest level players. They're looking at only the pros and seeing what they would like to play on. We've got to consider bronze to grandmaster, for our game. So we'll definitely take and continue to look at those maps and see which ones sort of would work, we think, for as many types of players as possible. But yeah, we'll definitely putting in more community maps in the future.
Okay.
Do you guys have any plans to add some more statistics, like specifics like ZVT or how good you are at missing your injects or something like that?
Totally. I don't know which ones. We are planning a revamp of the score screen for Heart of the Swarm, which hopefully we'll want to do a couple things with it. We want to make the front page a little less of a spreadsheet. We're going to make the back pages a little bit more of a spreadsheet, right? So right now you get it and it's kind of like, it's just kind of this nasty thing, but sometimes you want that, right? And so we want to try to do a better job on the design on that. We've had plans for that score screen, for months before we released that have never fulfilled my fantasies for where that score screen could be. I think the design staff is kind of the same place on it, art staff as well. So we have a bunch of work we want to do on that. I don't know exactly yet. I just saw some mock-ups, late last week that were showing some new stuff. But that's sort of the general idea right now is try to provide a bunch more stats on the back end at the same time, provide a little less on the front end. So if you just want to get out of the game, you can kind of see, roughly this is what I did. But if you really want to get into the details, you can. In addition, some more player stats is something we've been looking at. I'm not sure where those are at right now or exactly what's going to make Heart of the Swarm. We have talked about providing a lot more detailed stats, what map you're doing well on, what maps you're not doing well on, what matchups you're doing well on, all that kind of stuff would be really cool as a player to see.
Definitely useful. So some people have been asking about the possibility of changing the in-game clock to reflect real time instead of the slightly sped up time for casting and esports as well.
Oh, yeah, no, we totally agree. We built that. That wasn't right. That's not working out. We need to change that. I don't know when I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know Alan DeBerry, who's sort of our lead BattleNet and UI guy. It's been driving him crazy for many months now. So I think we'll expect a change pretty soon on that one. Yeah, we built it for normal speed. And of course, nobody plays it normal, so it's kind of broken, and we just need to reconcile that.
So there's also been some community support for a mod called Stronger Team Colors, which basically makes the units a lot easier to keep track of, like with the roaches and banelings in particular. You guys have any thoughts on that kind of stuff? Yeah, no, I think that's a really cool idea. I like that one a lot. I like it for esports quite a bit. We've also had some comments on the team that'd be really great for people who are colorblind. To really help them out as well. So that's another benefit, another plus to it. So I like it a lot. We'd love to see it, and we're definitely going to be looking at some kind of option. I don't know when we'll get it in exactly, but we support it. Whether we get it done is a whole other matter. We think it's awesome. It's a really cool idea. Fantastic.
Kind of a general question. Are we going to see a hard reset ever on MMR or the ELO ranking system at all on the ladder system across the board?
Do we want one? I hope not. It would really trash our matchmaking pool for at least a week or so until it righted itself again. Right? We're pretty flexible on it. Like, you get better, you'll get better. We'll change it pretty quick. It's not locked in stone. It's not like you played 1,000 games, you're now stuck, right?
I did see a guy who had 2,000 games in Bronze League and was still there.
Well, that's because that's where he is. And that's okay, right? Like, you can be a passionate bronze player. There's this idea that if you're passionate, you must be diamond or above, and if you're a scrub and you don't really play, then you're allowed to live in bronze. We tried to create a system, and for some players we failed, and some players we succeeded. We tried to create a system that allows players to play and be passionate at any skill level. I can be a crappy baseball player and I can play on the softball team of my studio or whatever, my work, or I can be a major leaguer. That's what we want. We don't want just like you play 2 games of bronze a week and you play 100 games at diamond a week. We want 100 games of bronze and 100 games of diamond or whatever's appropriate, right? So the matchmaker and the ELO stuff does move you up and down pretty quickly. So I think you'll be okay. If you suddenly get a bunch of skill or suddenly lose a bunch of skill, you'll see that reflected pretty quickly in the matchmaker and pretty quick. I mean, let's be real. Maybe not quick enough for you. You know, a 6 or 7 game losing streak feels terrible, right? But we will reset you down to something reasonable, right? But you may have to go through a little suffering to get there.
Kind of on a similar topic, there's the general consensus in at least the elite gaming community is that the EU ladder is above the US ladder, and the Korean ladder is above the EU ladder. So it's kind of like the hierarchy where you have the Koreans at top, obviously, because they're the Koreans. And then EU is some degree below that, but then the US ladder is somewhere below that. So it's like we're terrible. Oh, you didn't know we were terrible?
I didn't realize.
I was going to ask you if you had thoughts on that or for any reasons for that.
I honestly, I did not know that we were terrible. That's too bad. Yeah, it could be any number of things if it's in fact true, which I don't have any proof of one way or the other. The only way to really know that for sure would be based on, I suppose, no, not even that. I was saying you guys should base it on the pros, but it's not really meaningful. The pros are so much above the ladder, it's ridiculous, right? The pros, there's this idea that Grandmaster is the pros. Even the pros, when they play in the Grandmaster League, are often 70-30 win percentages or better sometimes. They're beyond ladder, right? Yeah. Grandmaster is cool. If you're in Grandmaster, you can kick my ass. You're awesome, but it doesn't mean you're a pro, right? So I don't know how you even know which ladder was better. But if it's true, if that's the case,
I wouldn't know either.
Then I would only guess that it might be some cultural changes. We certainly see this in Korea. They're centered around a single city, Seoul. It brings everybody together into a single powerful culture. They've been supported by esports so well for so many years. And they've got a culture of excellence when it comes to esports, which feeds itself and allows them to train one another and build great players. The U.S. is very spread out, even compared to Europe, in terms of population density in many places. So it's possible, if that's the case, that the Americans, are a little bit spread out, so they're not able to get together as much. We've got great players in Los Angeles and 2 great players in New York and 3 great players in Chicago. Like, oh my gosh, how do we make this work? Right. So maybe that would be a factor for the tournament play. But if it's just general ladder play, I don't know. The last time I checked, I think the Europeans were playing a few less hours a week than the Americans were. Oh. So I'd be so maybe they're getting more out of it, or maybe it's not accurate. I don't know. Okay. Sorry, that's not a great answer.
Okay. No, I thought that was amazing considering.
3 minutes.
So 3 minutes.
Let's skip to the Heart of the Swarm stuff.
Well, we're going to ask you about esports and link stuff, but we'll skip to the Heart of the Swarm stuff. So what units are you looking at currently in this current build of Heart of the Swarm that you think you're probably going to have to move because they're just going to break the game in a minute or two? What are the ones that are kind of on that teetering edge?
Well, a lot of the units are on that teetering edge of things we don't know. When we approach this game, if we think too hard about the metagame and we get too worried about what we're going to break, we would add nothing.
Right.
Right? If I go downstairs to the finals last night and think, what should I add? The answer is nothing.
Right.
Don't you dare change a thing. But that's not a fun answer either, because we do want to have a better game. And that was sort of what happened to us in Brood War to StarCraft 2 as well, as we looked at it. And if the right answer is just make Brood War in 3D and don't mess it up, right? That would be the right answer. But we said, no, we're going to try. And we can always fall back, right? We're going to try. And we did, in many cases, make something that I think was a better experience. Not everybody may agree, but we're pretty happy with it, all right? So, for Heart of the Swarm, we're taking some chances again, and some of these may go away. Things that I believe work. I believe the Swarm Host works. Okay. I believe this unit, we play tested it enough that it feels really good. I believe that the Oracle, at least one of the spells, Entomb, works.
Which one is that?
That's the one that locks down minerals.
Okay.
That has been a spectacular success for us in our limited playtests. Okay. So I would believe in those guys. Everything else, I don't know for sure. Okay. Right? The ones that scare me the most would be the Replicant. I'm afraid that might drive units out of the game. I'm not worried we can't balance him in the sense that we can't make him cost more or cost more food. We have some tools that we can use. We can reduce his range. We can do all kinds of things to him to make him more balanceable. What I'm afraid is the Terran players won't build Banshees anymore against Protoss because they're afraid of Protoss Banshees coming back at them. That would be the biggest fear.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
So did you have any Brood War inspiration for some of these units, like the Viper, sort of a flying defiler, and also the Warhound? Is there a reason it's not just the Goliath?
We were not super inspired by I guess maybe we should have been by the Defiler in that respect. We just want to make a big snake. And we thought that'd be cool. And that was the inspiration for the art. And then we had a bunch of spells we were experimenting with, and we kind of settled on these. It wasn't really based too much. A little bit, the Shredder is a little bit based on the idea of getting a little bit more board control back for the Terrans, like the Vulture was. But it's not really a direct connection at all. The Warhound is definitely one of our more work in progress units. That's a unit that's changed probably 3 times in the last month, and we finally said, you know what, we're going to BlizzCon, we'll go with that one, right? And we went with it. And if it turns into kind of an area effect Goliath, I can live with that. That's okay. I don't know if we want to go back to the art or not. It looks kind of cool, but that's just an art choice at that point. I might just leave that up to the art guys, whether they want to go back to the Goliath or not, or keep the new looking art. But we'll see.
Okay.
The Shredder, pretty interesting unit with its non-overlapping field. Is there a reason that it's not a structure? Does it seem more balanced as a unit?
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't want it to be a structure because we wanted to pull some food away from the Terran Army. It was one big reason. We wanted to spend food on it. We didn't want you to have an unlimited number of these things. That would be way more broken. And it's probably already really broken anyway. But and we need those hooks. We need the ability to crank up that food or turn it down. We need to be able to crank up the price and turn it down and know there's a limited number of those things out there to manage.
Okay. One more. So was there a particular Wings of Liberty unit that just totally drove you guys nuts from a balance perspective, where you just couldn't seem to get the balance on that particular unit right? And on that note, how did the removal of carriers come about, I guess?
Sure. So units that drove us crazy, Overseer drove us crazy. He provides food, so we keep trying to put cool spells on him, and we keep taking them off. And we keep making the spells he has better, and we keep nerfing them because he gives. If you have an unlimited number of these things, it's not tenable. The design is flawed. There is no balanced solution to that unit. The design is flawed. The Thor was a lot of trouble for us, and I think got him to a pretty happy place. We're seeing him some esport events, but he still kind of annoys us, right, for a lot of reasons, because he's such a big break point. He costs so much. It's very easy for him to be countered, or for him just to counter everything because it's just a single unit. And StarCraft's very much about an economy, grinding away at the opposition. So those are probably the two biggest units that annoyed me the most. The Mothership never got a lot of play, but it was okay. Like, we were giving ourselves a few units that were for, more goofy, fun kind of play style. Ghosts, nukes in the original StarCraft were kind of like that, a little bit. Until the very end metagame kind of worked. They got a little bit more play, but for a long time they were not very useful. So, but those were two of the big ones. And the Ultralisk, of course, has always been a battle just because of his pathing. There's so much trouble getting him. I think he's like 600 health right now. And, oh my god! And he still feels borderline, right? Like, he still feels like, sometimes he's really good, sometimes he kind of sucks, right? And he's 600 health. How can that be, right? What, are you gonna go to 800 and it'll finally work? Like, that's insane. Like, if you have like a Void Ray trying to kill an Ultralisk now and he's in your base, it takes all day. It's a Void Ray, right? So he's always been a little bit of trouble for us as well. The Carrier is just a unit that. There's a couple things with the Carrier. I guess the biggest ones, we're just not seeing a lot of them, right? They see use at, the occasional high-level game. We see more use at the mid-level games, 4v4, sometimes with big packs of carriers. But it's not a unit that fulfills sort of a core role for the race. It doesn't counter a bunch of stuff that we'd like for it to counter. And so we're putting in a new area effect carrier, essentially, in the Tempest, that can hopefully do these things. I suppose if we really want to, we could keep the carrier art and put a big splash weapon on it, and that would be kind of what we're doing. But we felt like that the role was different enough that it warranted a change in the art, that would be more confusing than helpful at the end of the day. And since we're holding on to it, I think for most of us who are holding on to it are holding on it simply because it's iconic, I'd be willing to make the hard choice and say, hey, you know what? It had its day, it's cool, it'll come back another day. It's still in Wings, it's not out of the universe, right? But that the Protoss need something that can help them against some of these big, massive, air threats.
I did all the hard work going to the lower bracket, and I saved him some time playing games, so this time I'm just going to crush him. MVP doesn't know what it takes to play Terran. So I'll teach him a lesson in the finals right now.
Well, you heard it here. I don't think there's much else for us to do over here. I think I want to see you guys represent in the world. They're playing fair in the world. You come out and look like what's the We're super excited to be on Antigua Shipyard. Is everyone ready for the grand final of Blizzcon 2011?
Drones now down with this many Thors being constructed. MVP is saying that he wants to attack theirs. And here comes MVP. Is he going to be moving on or just securing kind of this middle area between his three bases? We'll find out in just a couple of seconds. The Mutas, though, are about to find these Hellions and actually do a lot of damage to them. The Thors are very far behind, taking out an Overlord, and these Hellions are just getting destroyed, Sean. These Hellions really need to stay alive. This is the extra little bit of damage boost. that he needs, and it looks like slowly but surely the Eagles count to be whittled down by IMMVP's massive amount of Thors. We see all the SCVs coming to the front lines to repair, and nothing but Thors being produced from MVP. And look at the rally points. He is going straight onto his own units. MVP is it going to be enough? All the seed things are almost gone. That's key. Denying the third base of MVP. The poor mules get a surrounded clean up where he's trying to perform. The numbers are so high. Doing a good job continuing to pick those off. One hit does manage to land, and the command center calls. And you know that Thor is still there. Doesn't want to move in just in all those mutas, but he has a ton of lanes coming across map, Sean. ST taking the entire map, overrunning the front lines in the center. Think pretty soon MVP is just so far down. 165, supply 67 for MVP. The Thor is still alive though. An incredible defense by MVP. Oh, there's the Thor falling. Marines now come out again. Second set, that will be stuff. This is going to be a stunning final match, ladies and gentlemen. Shakur's Plateau for the deciding match. Ladies and gentlemen, Nesty and MVP in overall series, tied 1-1. MVP, oh wow, has 4 Thors already. That is a speaking of lining up, JP, a whole slew of drones get close to that. MVP nukes that. Looks like he's heading straight front and middle. Looks like he's going to try to pick off that again. 3 nukes in 3 locations. The spine crawlers will not be able to unburrow in time. MVP, see you later. Looks like at the bottom expansion, it will fall as well. MVP, relentless with these nukes, and he does not get it in time. Well, I think it's time to move forward with these Broodlords, Sean. Let's get a quick count. That is 27 Broodlords here for Nesty. How many Vikings we have on the map at the end? 14 Vikings and 18 Ghosts. I do not know if there's any way that MVP can even kill off this army quickly enough. Nesty still has so much money rallied. And there, Nesty now sees the front line of MVP. MVP now knows what he is up against. Here we go, Sean. The unit count is ridiculous, and I think Nesty's realizing he may have overproduced massive amounts of cloak. Now stepping forward, we see the infestor starting to move forward. Sniping every single Broodlord. This was a 41-minute game with nukes sniped.
I will never forget for as long as I live the face MMA had when people were cheering his name in that theater. He had that, his eyes started tearing, and he had that like kind of like frown kind of facial expression where you're trying to like contain like overwhelming happiness. Like just that one face is a face I will never forget. That was just, that's esports right there, man.